On the 30th of August, something very interesting just finished up in the Pacific. From the 17th, the world's largest naval exercises, the biannual Rim of the Pacific, or RIMPAC, have been underway. Led by Uncle Sam, this basically involves 2 weeks of 10 nations, including Australia, Japan, and France, engaging in a pissing contest in the form of war games. Now, the stated aim of these drills is to increase cooperation and smoothen out military logistics. But why should you care about these war games? Well, conveniently, it also sends a very clear message to an actor that's been very active in the region lately.
China, 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 China.
It's a message that says, there's lots of us, and we have warships too. Now, this stick swinging happens every 2 years anyway, but in 2020, relations between Trump and China have never been so hostile. One of the problems with having a narcissistic Fruit Loop as leader of the free world is that smarter nations can run you around the park. China has been able to go on the offensive and switch to an expansionist and aggressive strategy in the Pacific. There are 4 notable points of conflict, so stick with us. Firstly, in the South China Sea, China has clashed with the Philippines in a territorial dispute. China has claimed extensive fishing waters that many Filipinos support their families with, and petroleum exploration zones that is rightfully Filipino under international marine law. We think that is the most pressing concern here. The Hague Tribunal overwhelmingly supported the Philippines' territorial claim to the area that they have controlled for all modern history. Yet China has made it clear that here they do not respect international rule of law, and that if they can take it, they will. Now that is a very concerning characteristic. Secondly, the uninhabited Senkaku Islands represent a combustible mixture of history, honor, and territory, and have recently soured China and Japan relations. China has not forgotten the injustices visited upon it by Imperial Japan during the Second World War. It matters little that Japan are perhaps the most pacifist country in the world these days, a considerable feat considering their neighbour is a trigger-happy, nuclear-armed state. China are clearly keen to match Japan across the board, and America has made it clear that they will be supporting Japan in their efforts. The next conflict point is over Taiwan. Over my right shoulder is where Taiwan's flag should be, but it's not, because Australia cut all diplomatic ties with Taiwan back in 1972. When the Maoist revolution in China happened, the old Chinese government fled to Taiwan, where they have remained in a prosperous and peaceful exile ever since. Mr. Xi Jinping, democratically elected leader of China, is not a fan, especially after at the beginning of this month, Trump sent the first official in decades to Taiwan. The next day, Chinese fighter planes crossed the media line between Taiwan and the mainland, one of only a handful of times this has ever happened. Xi Jinping has declared that within his term, Taiwan will be reunited with the motherland, and his pressure is growing. Finally, of course, is the deteriorating situation in Hong Kong. China has shocked the world into submission. They have proven that they have zero interest in the agreed-upon two-party system. They have proven that they have zero respect for their agreement with British for succession. They have proven that they have zero interest of Hong Kong having any autonomy at all. They have moved so swiftly with introducing bills and measures that any chance of further dissent has been mitigated, and one of the greatest cities the world has ever seen, a brilliant fusion of East and West, and an academic and cultural capital of the world, has been plunged into tyranny. Across all these areas, the Communist Party has made it clear that they do not care much about historical agreements. They do not care much about autonomy, or sovereignty, or liberty. For the country that is perhaps the next global hegemon, we think we can expect better. So look, I'm glad that we're showing off our little posse around with 20 warships. A concerted and cooperative effort needs to be made to show Xi Jinping that his lone wolf warrior diplomacy will not stand, and in doing so, that we still have the courage to show down tyranny. So what do you guys reckon? Is a parade really enough? Thanks guys, we hope you learned something. It's just a little side project for Cormac O'Dwyer and I about something we're really passionate about, which is international affairs. Which can seem pretty stuffy a lot of the time, so international affairs can be heaps of fun, right Cormac?